After my grandmother died, I stayed away from the family reunion for a long time. Her house stood empty for a couple of years, but then my mother's cousin Dee bought it. She planned to use it as a summer getaway, a retreat from her busy life in the city. And, of course, she needed a place to stay for the family reunion. We'd lost Grandma just 2 years after my mother passed away. As a young girl, we weren't all that close. But somehow in those 2 years after Mom passed, we found a common ground in our mutual grief. We had many long talks, some of them about Mom, but I also got to hear about her life on the farm in western Pennsylvania. When the Great Depression hit, they were living in East Chicago, where my grandfather worked in a steel mill. They hung in there for a while until the work dried up, but like a lot of working-class families, they packed up and returned to the farms. She told me, why, if you knew someone who had land, a cousin, an uncle maybe, well, that's just where you went. At least on a farm you could eat. So, as a young bride, she and Grandpa returned to his father's house along with his 3 brothers, 2 sisters, their spouses, and all their children. Life can change so fast, she said. I can tell you that. There wasn't much money, but you could trade for things that you needed. Once my great-grandfather Harry needed a carburetor for the tractor, and he traded a pair of reading glasses to get it. My great-uncle Howdy raised Christmas trees, and he traded them for chickens. It's just what we did, she said, and she chuckled. Weeks would go by when there was nothing to eat but corn and beans. Now it's the fashion to go without meat, she said. Vegetarian, they call it. We called it poor and hungry. Some say that if you lived through the Great Depression, you have the scars to show for it. I think that's true. For the rest of her life, she never wasted a thing. In fact, after she passed away, we were so amazed by her collection of tin foil that she washed and saved to be used again and again. Cousin Dee has replaced the countertops in Grandma's kitchen with granite ones, and a dishwasher hums in the corner. There are 2 new bathrooms and a garage with an electric door. I made a blueberry pie for the Matthews family reunion this year, and my son and I walked along the old road near the farm where we used to gather hickory nuts in a cloth bag. As I was leaving, Dee gave me a key to the house. Just in case, she said, this is where you'll come. We live in such uncertain times. At home, I keep the key to Grandma's house in an envelope with copies of our important papers, an emergency kit with a stash of food and water. Life can change so quickly. She's how I know.